This episode of Talk Raytown is brought to you by Wendy McDermott with Synergy One Lending. Buying a home is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. So why not work with someone who knows the Raytown market inside and out? As a local lender, I offer faster service, personalized guidance, and loan options tailored to your needs. But don't just take my word for it. Here's what my clients have to say. Whether you're buying, refinancing, or just exploring your options, I'm here to help. Let's make homeownership happen. Call or text me today at 913-205-3403.
I'm Zac Sweets, and this is Talk Raytown. I'm here today to talk about, well, I'm not here. Actually, we have two wonderful guests from the Truman Heritage Habitat for Humanity. We have Hallie Cook and Stephen Collins with us. And if you recognize their faces, we had this whole conversation before we started recording. Hallie was a 2023 Chamber Rising Star. And you probably recognize Stephen Collins as the only native Raytownian of this group. So which high school did you go to? That's the important question.
Well, I am wearing blue today, so that might identify me as a proud graduate of Raytown High School.
I would have guessed South. Something about you. Well, we have this whole conversation about how we're both debate nerds, and there's going to be no debating today. We're only going to be uplifting the stories of the Truman Heritage Habitat for Humanity. But we might start to chop it up because you all have a great story about what's happening here in Raytown. So let's just dive right into it. If I didn't know, if I fell on planet Earth and landed right in Raytown, tell me about Habitat for Humanity.
Sounds good. So Habitat for Humanity is an international organization that has existed since 1976. Usually people have heard of Habitat for Humanity, and usually people think, oh, those are the people who build homes, right? And that's true. That's part of our mission. So I'll just start with Habitat's mission generally. So Habitat's mission is bringing people together through building homes, community, and hope. The way we do that is by supporting the dream of home ownership across the world. Truman Heritage Habitat, our office of Habitat is the office that our service area is Jackson County east of 435.
Okay.
Or as I say, east of Funky Town. So if you're on this side of Funky Town, to the county line, you're in our service area.
You really did grow up here, didn't you?
I really did. And so we are from Truman Habitat, and we're here in Raytown to let the people know about what we're doing in Raytown and an exciting new opportunity that will end with placing a family in a newly remodeled home in Raytown. But to get there, we're going to need some help. We're going to need some help getting the word out. We're going to need some help raising some funds, and we're going to need some help building this house to make it what it needs to be.
Well, when I think of Habitat for Humanity, it's not a joke, but it's, I guess, a little fun. I think of President Carter.
Yeah.
I think of seeing folks, everybody's like helping put the frame up on the home. You know, it's a great scene, a great big photo op. But there's so much more to Habitat for Humanity than just building the homes. I don't want to downplay that. That's not important. But before we get into some of those other things that Habitat for Humanity does, Hallie, kind of tell me about your role with Truman Heritage.
So my official title is Individual Development Coordinator as well as Faith Relations Coordinator. So I work with individual donors. I help with small events that we have. We have our gingerbread home for the holidays. We also do a golf tournament. Yes, it's super fun. It's really engaging towards the youth to understand our mission as well. And then I do faith relations. So I work with local churches to come out and volunteer with us as well as donate to us as well.
That's great. Yeah. And besides Funky Town Ambassador, Stephen, what was your role?
I'm a project manager in our home preservation program. Our home preservation program, you might also call it our home repair program. So to your point earlier, we do more than just build new homes. We also support the dream of home ownership by helping to keep people in homes by making necessary repairs and modifications to existing homes.
So, kind of get a little philosophical with me. Why is that an important mission to help folks stay in homes and get an opportunity for home ownership? Don't you just need to go find a real estate agent and buy a brand new home?
If only it were that easy, right? So, and I'll take a step back just to put the context of what I do in the broader context of how Habitat works. Because another maybe misconception that people might have is, oh yeah, Habitat, you're the people who build homes and then give them to people. So that's not the way that we have worked. What we do is we will use volunteers to build a home with a family that wants to support themselves and build a better future for themselves. That family buys that home from Habitat at the basically cost of construction.
Oh, wow.
That money then is what is used to buy the materials for the next house. And then that next family buys that next house. And you can see that kind of engine for new home construction, right?
Yeah.
So the issue is, and the reason why our model has expanded to things like home repair, and the reason why going out and buying a new home is so difficult is that the cost of construction has, skyrocketed over the last 10 years. But since 1976, the graph of what it costs to build a new home has just, it's going straight up. And you can also imagine it takes months to build a home. And when you're building a home, you're helping one family, and that's great. But as costs go up, it's not just the cost of building a new home, it's also the costs of maintaining your home. So as the economy shifts, as things get more expensive, it's also harder for people to stay in their homes if they're, say, on a fixed income. Your Social Security check basically stays what it is. And even though you've lived in your home for maybe 30 years and you've owned it for 30 years, your property taxes go up, your homeowner's insurance goes up, the price of food goes up. Those things are outside of those folks' control, and those things threaten people's housing security. And when those homes go up for sale, it's not always other families who buy those homes. It can be a hedge fund who has decided that getting into real estate in Jackson County, Missouri is a really great way of making their spreadsheet do what it needs to do. So all of a sudden, the landscape of home ownership has changed. And that story has happened slowly over time. But then, of course, COVID happens, and that accelerated that process. So to continue to be a responsible stakeholder, Habitat generally, and Truman Habitat, our office that represents Eastern Jackson County, has expanded the scope to, we still build homes with families, but we've expanded our scope to do things like home repair programs, which we have one here in Raytown. Very excited to talk about. And also, instead of just building new homes, we also do what we call acquisition rehabs, which is to take an existing home and to modify it. People say flip, flip has sometimes a negative connotation. Mm-hmm. But we'll take an existing home and make the modifications that are needed to set the next family up for success. And then we'll partner with that family, qualifying family, to put them into that home. And so we're basically just looking for new ways in this new landscape to support the idea of home ownership.
And I think that's really interesting because, there was months ago, I think it was in Startland News, where they reported that there were several thousand homes in the Kansas City metro area that were owned by fewer than 10 companies. Yeah. So as we're talking about the housing stock, every community has that tagline. We want to have our community be a wonderful place to live, work, and play. But you got to be able to live in your cities. And you went back to 1976, I believe is what you said. But I was looking, just coincidentally, I was looking at the Federal Reserve of Chicago has a peer group city tracker where you can kind of see how your city stacks up next to cities of similar sizes on different issues. And one of those things is housing. And it was showing me that in the Kansas City metro area, on average, most of the whole housing stock was built around that late 60s to mid 70s time period. So to your point, we're not seeing as many homes built, even still today. And Hallie, when we're talking about families in need and identifying some of those families, I imagine your role, you kind of have folks that say, hey, Hallie, we know of a family that might need to come your way. What does that process typically look like? How do you all find a family?
Well, can I first go off a little bit of Stephen, what he said? And this might answer a little bit of the question too, but kind of going back to we are not a hand up, but a hand up with our organization. So one of the ways that people qualify to be a homeowner is through a master home program course. It's a 9-week course. It's free. We provide dinner and also childcare. So it's engaging the whole family of just the basics.
Can you say that last part one more time? Because it's really important. Also, childcare?
Yes. Yes. I'm sorry. I was like, what did I say?
No, you're not in trouble. I just love whenever we recognize that is a part of, sorry. Anyways, go on.
No.
It's just something that I think every community needs to hear over and over again and have more support around when we're trying to support all working families.
Yeah. No, exactly. So the Master Home Program is a 9-week course where people could come in. It's once a week, usually either on a Wednesday or a Thursday. I think this round's on a Thursday. And we teach people to be successful homeowners. So you can either be wanting to qualify to be a homeowner, or you are already a homeowner and want to learn just the basics. So we partner with Spire. We partner with the local or retired plumber. We partner with a couple lenders and realtors, and they just give out just basic things. I took it myself because I'm a homeowner. And it really helped me give myself the confidence to be asking questions to my realtor or know what I'm getting myself into. So it's great. And that's one of the ways that our program goes through when you want to become a homeowner. You have to take this 9-week course to qualify. But again, what was your last question again?
Yes. How do you all identify families that are good for the program and the program can be good for them?
That's a good question.
So without getting into too many of the specifics in terms of how the model has changed, sort of the headline is we work with income qualifying families, families who have a demonstrated need. We work with families who have gone through the Master Homeownership course to demonstrate that they are trying to set themselves up for success. And then there is a homeowner selection committee that each time there's a homeownership opportunity that comes up, people are able to effectively apply through our family services department. And if they've demonstrated a need and demonstrated their willingness to support themselves, again, back to what Hallie said about a hand up, not a handout model, that is the path to homeownership via Truman Heritage Habitat.
And this committee, selection committee, is members of the community, I imagine.
That's right.
So it's just that you get that inertia of community support and helping just everybody all the way around. So you talked about how the model shifted.
That's right.
So kind of tell us a little bit more about how that model has shifted. So like I said, if you're like me, you saw the peanut farmer out there doing this thing for I almost said centuries, but decades. And that was it. The commercial's over. But what happens after the commercial? What does that model look like now?
Got it. So one thing to know is that, if the idea is we're going to be the traditional habitat model, going out from the ground up, building new homes, is something that we still do. Having partner families build those homes with us is still an avenue to homeownership through working with Habitat. But we do more than just that model now. So for instance, and this is relevant to what's happening in Raytown. So if we have an acquisition rehab home, a home that already exists, right? We're able to get that home turned around faster than we would be able to build a new home with a partner family. So it's going to look a little bit different. We might utilize third-party lending for that family to secure financing at affordable terms, to get themselves into that acquisition rehab home. But the thing to know is that no matter if you wanted to have a home ownership opportunity through Truman Habitat, the step one would be the same, which is to get in contact with us, to sign up for the free courses through the Master Home Ownership Program. Come eat delicious food up at our office where we host those classes. 9 classes, typically between 1 and 2 hours each. Topics range from home maintenance to electrical safety to building credit it goes on from there. But totally free, totally available to anybody in the community, even if they are not looking for home ownership opportunity. So maybe you own your home and you don't know very much about your electrical panel. Sure. And you want to learn about that. You can come and you can see a rather handsome individual teach a class on electrical safety and to teach about what you need to know about your electrical system. But again, and I want to pick up on something that you said, because you said, oh yeah, that committee, that's members of the community that help do that. Basically everything that we do in Habitat is in partnership with members of the community. We couldn't do any of the work that we do without direct support from the communities in which we work. And that's, to be quite honest, one of the reasons why I'm really excited for the opportunity to talk to you here and to get the message out to the folks in Raytown about what it is that we're doing.
Yeah, and we were talking about what Raytown does well. And, Hallie, you probably see this all the time. Stephen probably gets a little excited about his home city. He's like, oh, I'm so proud of him.
I'm proud he does, yeah.
But you were talking before we got started about the home repair, really the funding kind of like mechanism, if you will. Yeah. And we actually had, and I know everyone was listening to our last episode. If you didn't, take pause right now and go and listen to it and come back. But we had the city administrator, Damon Hodges, in, and one of the things that city staff was like highlighted and put in bold and underlined for him to make sure that he did not miss, and he didn't, was to talk about the home repair program in partnership with the Truman Heritage Habitat for Humanity. That's right. So what makes Raytown so unique with the home repair program?
Excellent question. So again, I am such a chatty guy and I drink coffee, so I can't start to answer a question without taking a step back and saying like some context, right? So it goes to speak to what you were saying about how our model has changed. So in addition to building new homes, in addition to acquiring rehabilitation homes, we also have expanded the way we support homeownership by home repair programs, right? Truman Heritage Habitat now offers, I think, 6 different home repair programs, which you can learn about on our website.
Which is?
trumanhabitat.org. And thank you for asking. The thing to know is that as a nonprofit organization, funding plays a huge role in what we do and where we can do it. So we have partnerships, for instance, with the City of Independence, with the City of Lee Summit. We've got other partnerships that through the utility companies that work in Independence for weatherization programming. The thing to know is that, and we also have a partnership with the City of Raytown for an exterior home repair program. The thing to know, and what makes Raytown unique and also a leader in this space, is that Raytown city government funds this program themselves, as opposed to utilizing grants that come from maybe, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, which gets, awarded to a city, which then gets passed through. And it's fantastic that those other cities that we have partnerships with do allow us to, they award us the opportunity to administer those funds. Raytown is a small enough municipality that those grants that might be available to larger communities aren't really available to Raytown in the same way. So City of Raytown, I think 6 years ago, decided to fund a home repair program themselves. The first year, I think they allotted funding for 6 projects, specifically with an eye for exterior home repairs, things like painting, things like trim repair, perhaps, rebuilding stoop, anything on the outside of the home. 6 years ago, I think was the first year, and we did 6 projects through them. Their commitment to that program has grown over time as Truman Habitat has demonstrated that we're a worthy partner in administering those funds. So for instance, this year, we're going to do 20 projects.
Oh, wow.
And this is the first year that we've had that amount of funding, that amount of commitment. The City of Raytown has been an excellent partner with us, but what that means is they're being a leader in the community. They are making funds available to homeowners in the community, making repairs available to homeowners in the community through funds that they are allocating in a way that I really wish other cities, other municipalities in our service area could do.
And in some way, this is really showing the communities, the constituents that they have their support for that program. I mean, and Damon was just talking about, he said he believed, but at least in recent years, that it has their contribution from their general revenue for the city has increased. That might not be, $1 million every year, but that's, even to your point, with a smaller community, you maybe make your dollars go a little bit further as well with what you're able to do and the impacts you're able to have. And so Damon was just proud. And I should call him by his title. City Administrator Hodges. I was just proud of that partnership, but really proud of the board of aldermen for having that kind of the wherewithal to see that there is community support for those dollars and to put more in and to continue that work.
Yeah, no, I would boost that signal 100%. Absolutely.
So tell me, if you could, what is something that Truman Heritage is really excited about, 2025, looking forward? What is there anything more unique than the home repair funding? I mean, my goodness, we're just chock full of good news.
Well, Zach, very glad that you asked that question, sir.
There's a reason why I'm in this seat.
That's right. So one thing, and I was talking to Hallie about this on the way here, working for a nonprofit like Truman Habitat, I feel really lucky in a lot of ways because I get to see really remarkable things happen, and I get to see people make really remarkable choices. And because I'm in a nonprofit role, oftentimes I'm in a position where what they're making available is given to us to administer, right? Mm-hmm. So in the fall, a family who has lived in Raytown, who raised their kids in Raytown, who worked in Raytown their whole life, made the decision to donate their family home to our affiliate. It was a surprise to us, and they contacted us and they explained basically everything that I told you with some more details, which, I want to be respectful of the family's anonymity here. That's true. I met the family the first, maybe second time anybody from our organization went to the home, right? And I was speaking with the father, the person who I think was the person who really, it meant a lot to him to make that choice to donate to their home to the affiliate. And I was just talking to him. Oh, tell me about the house. Tell me a little bit about yourself. This is so cool. Thank you for this opportunity. But like, what, just by way of introduction, tell me about who you are. And he started to talk about raising his kids in this house. And this is a house a lot like mine. I grew up not far from this house. And he talked about what it meant for him to raise his family there. And that over time, he held on to the house, and he always wanted it to be there for his family in case they needed somewhere to live. Over time, his kids grow up, they move out, they get jobs, they start families elsewhere, and it looks like, okay, well, looks like all of his people are okay. He doesn't need to worry about that as much. So then he started to talk about how important it was for him to know that another family could have a similar opportunity in that home to be able to, he really wanted a young family to be able to have a life that started in that home. He really wanted that home to be a place where that family could grow, to be an opportunity to build wealth in the United States. Home ownership is the number one way of growing wealth that can be passed down from one generation to another, to have the opportunities that he and his family had. And he knew about our organization because he had volunteered with us in the past. He was aware of our mission. And that really, not just me, it impacted, I think, the whole of the affiliate. Now, because of the way, I don't want to bore the people watching this too much to talk about the specifics of funding, but the thing is, this donation was a surprise to us. And even though the home was outright donated to us, we didn't have to purchase it, for instance. In order to set a family up for success in a home that was built in the late 50s, there's a lot that needs to go into it. And in order to set a family up for success in this home, we're going to have to effectively do pretty much a full gut. We need a new roof. We need all new electrical. We need all new plumbing. We need to eliminate any kind of hazardous material. So we need asbestos abatement. We need lead abatement. We need new flooring. What we want to do with this home is really exciting, but we want to get started. And to make that happen, we're going to need community support. And also from my perspective, I grew up in Raytown. I'm from Raytown. My family still lives in Raytown. Not just me, but I think the whole affiliate is really excited to get back into Raytown and to put a new family in a home in Raytown. We have our home repair program that works in Raytown and has been for years. But it's important to us to show to the community of Raytown that we are a stakeholder, that we work on their behalf. And this is a really exciting opportunity for us to get there in partnership with the community of Raytown. So 2025, what do we want to do? In addition to all the other things we want to do, we want to effect a full gut of this house. We want to set it up so that the qualifying family that we are able to provide that opportunity for, who will purchase that home at an affordable rate, is able to be set up for success long-term, that they can start to build their future, that they can start to build their equity, that they can start to build their generational wealth that they can hand down to the kids who grow up in that house. That's what we're excited about in Raytown in 2025.
And that's a great story. Excuse me. And Haley, in your role, I'm imagining you probably don't have to take too many attempts to tell the good story of the good work that your affiliate does. So what does this kind of a story do for when you're talking to the community, when you're talking to potential development opportunities? I mean, my goodness, it kind of tells itself, but what is the story with that much? You saw the passion. Like I said, you gotta see that all the time. But tell me about telling the story of Raytown, this project, and the work that you all do.
So, what excites people about the stories of Jurassic?
Yeah, what do you find lights people up when you're telling them about the story of the work that you all do?
I think just kind of going back to what we've been all talking about is community building. I'm originally from Kansas, the good part. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I'm Kansas. So I'm not used to Independence, Raytown, Blue Springs. So just getting involved in Raytown and to see how everyone wants to come together and be part of this. And so I love the story of this home being donated and for us to ask for the community's help, ask for donations, ask for volunteer help has been really inspiring. And there's been a lot of people excited. They seem like they are excited for us to be here, for us to partner along with them too. So that's what I've been noticing so far.
Yeah. I mean, and it's feel good work. I mean, it really is, to your point, and it's the folks that are giving, but then eventually the folks that will be able to have a new beginning on the other side of that. That makes it all great. So what can the community do? What can we do? I know that there's some upcoming events. Tell me about Rock the Block.
I'll kick that over to
Honestly, big lead on that. I'll have fun.
All right, sounds good. So Rock the Block is, so we're throwing a lot of vocab out there, a lot of talk about different things we do in different models. So one way that we like to demonstrate to a community that we're stakeholders, that we're there, that we're working on their behalf, is to pick an area. Sometimes it's usually just one street. Depending on the funding and depending on this and that, the area can be bigger, but you can think of it as like a neighborhood beautification day, where if we, for instance, in this home in Raytown, we are planning for Rock the Block on Saturday, May the 3rd. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to pull my phone out and I'm going to double check that date that I just gave you is correct.
It is correct.
Saturday, May the 3rd.
Teamwork.
That's right there. But we're going to be in the neighborhood directly surrounding this home that was donated. We're going to be bringing our staff. We're going to be bringing volunteers. We're going to be looking for partners in the community. And that's a role that Hallie plays big time, is going out into the community and making those connections. And we're gonna hope for good weather. But what we're going to do is we're going to do things that maybe homeowners, particularly maybe folks who have been in their homes for a long time, just it's hard for them to get around and to do. So what does that look like? It could look like going to a home and weeding their mulch beds, or maybe putting down a new mulch bed, or maybe planting a bush if that's, they have that. It could look like some minor paint touch-ups. But what our work is before the Rock the Block is to be in the community, to identify the area that we're working in, to make contact with the homeowners, and to see what we can do in one day utilizing our resources, just as a way of letting people know we're here. Mm-hmm. And also, you said, this is feel good work. Part of it is days like that are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And also, like, selfishly, and I don't know if this is your experience, Haley, but working at Truman Habitat is great because you can imagine the kind of people who come out to volunteer their time are the kind of people who...
all grumpy.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it's gonna be a great day, and that's Saturday, May the 3rd. We're gonna be in this neighborhood working. I'll start to say something that I'm sure I'll say several times. If anybody who's hearing this is interested in getting connected, they can go to our website. And if you go to our website, which is trumanhabitat.org, you just scroll down to the bottom of the page, and there's like a little email format thing. Contact us. Anything that we're talking about that people are interested in learning more about, they want to volunteer, or perhaps if they say, oh yeah, they're doing that house in Raytown, I own a contracting business, and I might be able to install the windows on that house for free. Or maybe, I've got a warehouse that has a bunch of half-inch drywall. Love to donate that. Gift-in-kind donations are one of the major ways of getting a family put into that house in Raytown as fast as possible. Gift-in-kind donations, that just means, we are very happy to accept monetary donations as well. But gift-in-kind is, maybe you have materials or services that you could donate. Maybe you have a roofing company and you say, I can donate the shingles. Or I can put the roof on that house. If you are a business owner in Raytown and what we're talking about resonates with you, you should know that we make it as easy as we can to get your enthusiasm and resources turned into a homeownership opportunity for families. So Rock the Block, that's going to be Saturday, May the 3rd. If you're interested in volunteering, go on our website, fill out that contact form. Other ways that folks can support the Raytown build, we have set up a number of different, what would you call it? Like I'm thinking of like Freddy's and like Chipotle.
Third-party fundraisers.
Third-party fundraisers. That's Haley on the development team over there. Once again, working in partnership. Thank you very much, Haley.
Any dates coming up?
Yes. And once again, I'm going to go to my phone here.
While he's double checking that, because I can't think of it on the top of my head, I do want to add to Rock the Block. This would be a great call for churches helps. Great for youth to get involved, for like the small projects that we have, that's raking leaves, doing small paint jobs. We would love to see the local churches in Raytown come together and provide their youth with support with volunteering as well. So I wanted to shout that out too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So just to throw out some dates there, we've got on Monday, March the 17th at Chipotle up on 350. From 5 to 9 p.m., if you buy food at Chipotle and you have a flyer that you can get from our Facebook page, then you can put it on your phone. 25% of those sales from 5 to 9 on March the 17th will go directly to our organization.
Well, lucky for you, I just pile a bunch of stuff in there. So
Walk is that
double safe
for a
yeah.
for a good cause.
Do it for Habitat for Humanity.
That's right.
If you don't like guac, get it anyway.
That's right. You find a friend.
Find a friend.
One other date is on April the 9th, Wednesday, April the 9th at Freddy's on right off of 350. Again, it's a similar situation from 4 to 8 p.m., 15% of sales that are provided with you. Go to our Facebook. Mm-hmm. We will be blasting this flyer all over the place. Just pull the flyer up and you say, hey, give me a, double cheeseburger and a shake. And scan this. 15% of those sales will go directly to our organization.
And don't worry about getting the small shake to get ready for your summer loaf. Get a large shake. You're doing it for a good cause.
That's right.
My goodness. We were talking, and this is something I didn't even realize. So if I don't own a business or I don't have those sorts of resources, I might have minimal time. I got, 4 kids I'm trying to get to soccer practice and everything, let alone feed myself, sort of a parent. But you know what I like to do? I like to go retail therapy at Home Depot. But doggone it, if I go to Home Depot, it's going to be $400 to get everything that I want. Mm-hmm. There's another option.
Yes, there is. Haley, you're in development. I'm going to let you take that one.
Okay. It's called the Restore. I kind of describe it similar to a thrift store, but for home goods. We take gently new, used furniture, anything that you can think about that will go in the home that's donated, and then we repurpose it and sell it. We have our locations in Independence, right next to our headquarters. We have one,
by the way.
It's awesome. I don't want to say it's the best one because they're all amazing. And then we have one in Lee Summit. Oh, and then, yes, true. And then we have one in Blue Springs that we're actually doing a grand opening in March, on March 6th, I believe. That everyone's welcome, and it'll be a great time to just see our new rebrand in the Blue Springs location.
So quick aside, my wife and I bought our home 3-ish years ago, and we get in there and it's great. It's wonderful. I learned that I can't go to a hardware store by myself because I come back with things I don't need. But it gets worse because then I figure out what a restore is.
Yeah.
And I figure out that it's for a good cause. Mm-hmm. And when she calls me, she says, "Are you at a restore again?" without me. So now we have a thing that we both can do and enjoy and walk around. We had built a pergola. That was our marriage counseling, because an artist brain and a logic brain trying to build a structure, that was fun. But what we ended up doing was laying some stones, that we got at the restores, because we were like, I'm not paying that price.
Yeah.
And restore was like, well, we have 2 pallets worth. And I said, those are now my pallets worth. But I know that, like, I think you're exactly right. It's like a thrift store, but for the home thing.
Yeah.
Projects that you might think I don't have time or maybe even the funds to do, but all that is going and supporting the work that the Truman Heritage Habitat for Humanity is doing.
100%. And so just to demonstrate the way that kind of funds the mission, and particularly with this home in Raytown, how that has had a number of knock-on effects that support the organization. So in addition to donating the home, so the home had been filled with people's belongings of that family. It had been effectively used as storage. And then so when they said, we would like to donate our home, they also said, and we would like to donate everything in the home. So the first day that any kind of work happened on this home, it was our staff build day. Once a year, we like to get everybody involved on a build site, depending, because you can imagine we're an organization. Not everybody has the opportunity to be on a build site all the time. Some of us are busy supporting the organization in other ways. We went to the home and were able to move so many things to our 3 restores, which then were sold, which then went directly to support the organization. Other thing to know about the restores is we will come and pick your items up. If you have something that you want to donate, you can go to our website, you can fill out a contact form, you can give a phone call, and as long as our logistics team don't have to go up or downstairs to get your items, we will gladly bring guys with a box truck to your home to pick up the items that you have to donate. So with the idea of like a home being a legacy gift, right? Mm-hmm. In addition to supporting the idea of home ownership, it can also help to solve people's problems. If you have a home and there's a bunch of items in it, you're not sure what to do with it, it becomes a problem. The idea of a legacy gift to an organization like ours, this family story has supported the organization so much with the choices that they've made. And I just want to give a big shout out to our logistics team and our restore team, because the work that they do, effectively retail every single day, checking people out, putting things on shelves, pricing them, customer service, every single day that supports our mission, because almost everything that we put through the till at the restore is something that was donated from members of the community. So that's just another way. So if you're, you say, if I'm this, parent and I've got these kids and I don't have a lot of time and, I don't have a business, how can I support the organization? That coffee table that you've been meaning to get rid of, that you keep on tripping on, give us a call. Talk to our logistics team.
Trip no more. Get it out of the house.
That's right. That is right.
Well, I'm on my way to a restore. I'm going to let them get back to work. But before we wrap up, anything else that you all would like to plug? Tell me that website one more time.
I think that the website you're thinking of must be trumanhabitat.org.
I think that's I tagged in my favorites.
That's right.
But yeah, anything else coming up and ways that folks can get engaged, or if not an event, just another way we want to plug that folks can find you all?
I'm a huge fan of, we've already talked about our master homeownership class series, which is, like we said, the first step that a person would take if they wanted to find a homeownership opportunity through us. The thing to know is that it's free, that food is catered by this last session, a Habitat homeowner who has a catering company, so it's super good. Mm-hmm. I am a huge fan of that program, also because in terms of getting connected, not only with our organization, but just other people in the community. come up to the Young School where we host these classes. Go on our website, go on our Facebook, see what dates they're at, sign up for it or don't sign up for it. Just come on in.
And where is the Young?
The Young School is at 505 North Dodgen Street, right off of Truman Road and Nolan Road. The Hired Young School is our administrative offices, an old school building that we had repurposed.
Seems a little on brand for you all. Haley, what do you got?
I would say definitely follow our social media. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, I believe we have YouTube and now X, and LinkedIn, of course. There you can see all of our upcoming events. Definitely check out our Master Home program. It's free, comes with, like Steven said, food, childcare, awesome time, as well as our upcoming Rock the Block, which will be on May 3rd. So check that out on Facebook and more details will come out for that.
I love it. I love it. Well, Haley Cook, Stephen Collins, I really appreciate you all coming. And it's not a secret anymore. Now we know about the Truman Heritage Habitat for Humanity.
Get the word out.
Right here on Talk Raytown. Like I said, y'all are going to have to close up shop. I'm on my way to a research. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.